Hey everyone, it's Corey here from Fuel Your Photos, and in this video I'm going to show you how to craft the perfect blog post. So I'm starting here with a completely blank post, and I have already prepared the content, but I didn't want to make the video really long as you watched me type everything out. So I'm going to go over exactly what you should include in your blog post, and then we're going to see if we can get a perfect score with Yoast. Now, normally I don't worry about getting green lights on every single thing, but for the sake of this video, we're going to see if we can do it. Alright, let's get started. First up, let me show you what I've already prepared. I already have text written here with the keyword that I'm going to use, the title, the body copy, and you can actually see I've written out all of the alt text for each of the images. And I went ahead and wrote all of that. Ended up being somewhere around 750 words. So we're going to go ahead and start inputting that. I also have included, I went ahead and prepared all of the photos. We're going to put 19 photos in this post, and they are all ready and titled, as you can see here. Wedding reception at City Art Gallery 0001, and so on. So we'll go ahead and start by putting in the title. It's a good place to start. Let's see here. We're going to copy this from my sheet up here. I'm working off the screen. I have two screens set up, so if you see my mouse disappear and nothing's happening, that's because I'm copying from my other screen. So we're going to paste that in. Now, this title might end up being a little bit too long in Yoast down here, but we can adjust that later. I wanted to go ahead and just insert the full title as I want it to appear on my blog. And whenever I start editing, I should see that this will save a draft, or I can just go ahead and hit Save Draft so that it will create the permalink for me. So let's see here. We have this really long permalink. We're actually going to just delete some of it because we don't need it to be quite so long. We're going to leave it to be wedding reception at City Art Gallery. I'm going to delete the rest of that. And let's see here. Click OK. Perfect. Alright, let's save that draft, and then we're going to go ahead and put the focus keyword so that we can start to see our score in Yoast. Alright, down here you can see everything's red and orange so far. We're going to go ahead and put in the focus keyword, which is wedding reception at City Art Gallery. Now we start to see a little bit of green. We got the page title containing the focus keyword. It appears in the URL, and I've never used this focus word before. Very good. That's what I like to hear. While we're right here, I'm going to go ahead and choose a category. It's very important that you choose a category for your blog post, so we're going to choose wedding. Alright, we're going to click Save Draft, and we are going to go ahead and put the main body copy into this post. So I'm going to be pausing the video throughout so that it doesn't take a really long time. So I'm going to go ahead and get that done, and I'll be right back. Went ahead and put all the text in, and you can see here I left spaces for the images, and we're starting to get lots of lights down here on Yoast. A few of these are going to be really easy to fix, and a few are going to be slightly more challenging. I still haven't decided what I'm going to do about the ones that don't really make any sense for my post. I may change them just to show you how it works in this video, or I may end up leaving them and accepting defeat. We'll see. But for now, let's go ahead and add some images. I wanted to record this part, or at least a little bit of it, so that you could see how I'm adding the alt text to these images. So we're in here, and we're going to go to Upload Files, and let's see here. I'm going to drag over my images. I have 19 images for this post, and I have already written the alt text for each image. So when these are done, I'm going to be adding them. I think I can go ahead and start actually. So you can see here we have multiple fields. We have title, caption, alt text, description, and my theme is set up so that it will not use the title, caption, or description. And so in this situation, the only thing that is important is going to be the alt text. So I will actually even remove the title, and I'm going to start here. I think I actually forgot to write the alt text for this one, so we'll just go ahead and make it up. This is just outside view of city art gallery. Easy enough. All right, and then we are going to go down the list, and basically the alt text just needs to describe exactly what is showing in the image. And so on this one, it's a little bit hard whenever you have two images that are side by side, and so what I do for alt text on those types of images is just to describe both in the same alt text. So in this case, it's going to be, you won't be able to see all of this, wedding cake in front of Christmas lights and creative presentation of barbecue. A little bit longer than I like it to be, but that's what I'm going to use here. Okay, so here I'm just going to use bride and groom announced at wedding reception at City Art Gallery. And then on this one, I'm going to use bride and groom first dance at City Art Gallery. And then on the next one, I'm going to use black and white first dance photo at City Art Gallery. And I'll keep on going down the list exactly like that and add all of this alt text before I insert them into the post. And then I'm going to go ahead and insert them into the post where they belong, and I'll come back to the video. Now that I have the images inserted into the post, I wanted to show you a little trick here. You might be able to see, well, actually you can't see here. I'll show you a preview of this post. And you can see how this text is getting all jumbled up. I don't know if you've ever had this problem, but it's a common issue in WordPress where the spacing and the paragraphs aren't really maintained, especially when you paste in content from another text editor. So I'm going to show you a good way to fix that, because if you go back over here, you can see it looks right in the editor, but then when we go to the post, it's not right. So we're going to add a plugin really quick here. And it is called TinyMCE Advanced. We're going to install that. Going to activate it. And then we are going to go down here to Settings, TinyMCE Advanced. We just need to check one little box right here. Keep paragraph tags. Stop removing the P and BR tags when saving and show them in the text editor. This makes it possible to use more advanced coding, but what I've found is it just usually fixes that problem. Not in every single case, but in most cases, whenever I install this for people, it fixes that problem. Now I will have to go back in and probably redo the spacing so that it will create the tags and then save them, but hopefully that will fix it. I'm going to go ahead and try that, and I'll let you know what happens. Okay, all I had to do was just click Save Draft again after installing that plugin, and you can see that the spacing looks much better now. There's still a couple of spots where there's an extra space that I need to go back and delete, but in general, the paragraph breaks are there. One other little trick, you can see how my emoticon there is all squished. I've noticed that emoticons can be a huge source of problems across browsers. So I'm going to show you this little trick. If we go back here and we go to, oops, didn't mean to click on that. That's okay. Settings, writing. we can click uncheck this box here that says convert emoticons to graphics on display. I'm going to save those changes, and hopefully this preview will refresh for us. And you can see here that it just leaves it. Sometimes I like to put these little winky smileys, but I don't necessarily want it to convert to emoticon. Just another little trick I thought you might like. Alright, so let's go back here to the post. It should be here as a draft. See where we are with Yoast. Alright, so we still have quite a few problems. One of the first things we need to do is specify a meta description. Now this is using the beginning of the post, the beginning text from the post, and it's actually not too bad. I may even copy and use most of that, but it wants us to specify it for Yoast. And the keyword density is 0.4%, which is a bit low. It says the focus keyword was found 2 times. I could have sworn I used it more than that in my writing, but I'm going to go back and double check that, try to add it in a few more times. The images on this page do not have alt attributes containing your focus keyword. Now that kind of frustrates me a little bit because I know that they do. I didn't use the keyword exactly in every single alt text, which I don't even recommend doing that. So if that's what it's trying to get me to do, I'm probably not going to be able to check that one off the list. I did use this exact alt text in a few of the images, but not every single one. Let's see here. The slug for this page contains a stop word. Consider removing it. And so it's talking about this at. You can see it right here in the URL, and it's even telling me to consider removing it. It's not telling me I definitely should, but it's giving me this yellow light. One of the things that I wish Yoast would update this so that it didn't give you a negative score for this, because right now I think it's more important than ever to be using the stop words naturally because of how Google is using RankBrain. I would like to leave that in, but I may take it out just to see how it changes my lights. The page title contains 133 characters. Okay, so we're going to actually click on this right here. We can fix this one quickly. And we're going to just take this part and this is using a formula to generate the title, so we're going to manually place the title. We're right here in the green area, which means that's a good length. We'll close the snippet editor for right now. That went away. It says no links appear on this page. I need to add those right here. I'm going to link these names to the appropriate vendors. And no subheading tags appear in the copy. So like H2s, which I don't necessarily have any subcategories of this post, I guess. So it doesn't necessarily make sense, but I may see if I can add 1 or 2 somewhere. Alright, so I'm going to work on a couple of those things and report back in a few minutes. Okay, so we're starting to look much better. I went back and changed a few things, and this may be as good as I'm going to get with the Yoast score. So let me show you a few things that I changed. Went ahead and added a meta description. Just went in here and typed this in. If you're considering having your wedding reception at City Art Gallery in Columbia, SC, this is a great wedding for inspiration. City art is beautiful. Just the right length. And I think it's also, it makes it clickable. So you want to think about how this snippet appears whenever it shows up in the search engines. And I feel like if someone typed in wedding reception at City Art Gallery and they saw this is bold, this is bold, this is bold, if you're considering having your wedding reception at City Art, well, if they see that, they say in their mind, wow, that's me. I'm thinking about having my reception at City Art, and that makes it very clickable. And so I think that's perfect. We're gonna close that. Then I went in and added the focus keyword just like one extra time. So actually 2 extra times. You can see here it's now appearing 4 times, and that's 0.7%, which is great. This is really just a guideline. I don't always pay too much attention to this. As long as you're using your keyword in the title, preferably in the meta description, and 1 or 2 times in the body of the post, you're probably going to be fine. But you know, this is a good guideline. If your post is really long, you might want to use it a few more times, or if it's really short, you might not want to use it as many times. So it is a good guide. And then I went back and I tried changing the slug to get rid of the stop word, but then it starts to give me a different error telling me that I'm not using the keyword in the URL. So you kind of have to pick or choose on that one. I could remove the stop word from my focus keyword and from the slug and from everything else, but again, I think that it's important to keep that in whenever you consider how RankBrain is choosing what to rank based on the query. So I'm going to keep that in here and ignore this message and this message. The images on this page do not have alt attributes containing your focus keyword. It's actually not true. I can show you here. You can see highlighted. I did use that in multiple images. I just didn't use it exactly like that in every single image. And I don't necessarily think that is a good idea, even especially when you're using 20 plus images. So I'm going to ignore that warning as well. A couple other things, I went ahead and added these links at the end, and I added a call to action at the end of the post. If you're looking for a photographer for your wedding reception at City Art Gallery, we would love to talk. Fill out our contact form and let us know more about what you have planned. That way, at the end of the post, if they like what they've seen and they're thinking about planning their wedding reception at City Art, they know that they can go ahead and get in touch with the photographer if they want photos that look similar to what they saw in this post. Let's see, what else did I add? I added the subheading. I used it in H3, and I included the keyword in that H3. And, you know, it's starting to get just a little bit to the point where people might be like, wow, they're really trying to get that keyword in there. But it is the end of the post, and I think it's probably forgivable at this point. People aren't going to be paying that much attention. I tried not to be too keyword stuffy up here in the text that people are really going to be reading and paying attention to. But I think that's perfectly acceptable to put it here like that at the end. So with all of that done, I do have this little gray notification and 2 yellow lights, but mostly green, and overall green score, and so I'm going to go ahead and hit publish. There are a few more little things I want to check and add before this is ready to share, so I'm going to go ahead and go over those. First thing, I'm going to add a few tags, and so here you want to think about tags like, you can think about them kind of like hashtags, or you can think about them like the index of a book, where they are basically like subcategories. So we've got the category wedding, so a good tag might be reception, downtown, let's say classy, indoor. And that's really all we need. We just need a few tags that I might be able to use consistently in other posts so that, you know, people can decide, well, I want to look at weddings, and then I want to look at all downtown weddings or all indoor weddings. And so that's all we're using the tags for. Can add those really quickly. And we're going to set the featured image. For this one, I'm actually going to use this one of the sparkler exit. I'm going to set that. Easy peasy. And let's go ahead and update this. And the one other thing I wanted to do, if you look here, you can see that it says by admin because I'm logged in as admin. I want to give this to my other user that's called Corey. So we're going to go here to all posts, and then I can do a quick edit and just change that right here to Corey. Click update, and let's just double check that worked. By Corey Potter. Perfect. Okay, and you can scroll down here, see the post. We have some share buttons and related articles. Perfect. Okay, so something else I'm going to check here before I share this on social media is I'm going to look at the Facebook debugger. And I'm going to take this URL, paste it in here, click debug. I'm going to fetch new information. And this will give me a preview of what this is going to look like when I share it. And you can see here it's pulling the featured image properly. It's using the title of the post and the meta description along with the URL of my site. That's exactly what I want to see. And so now that I know that's going to share properly, I can go ahead and share this on social media or anywhere else.